Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be going over all of the books on my physical TBR, and these are the books that I need to read in 2024. Please hold me accountable. I'll be reading them sometime throughout the year, just when the mood hits. Okay, so I've got all of my books here next to me. Now, I know it looks like there's a lot of books. At least for me, it looks like there's a lot of books. But I read this quote once and I forgot who said it, but it really helped me with my mentality. Or should I say sort of enabled my shopping mentality. But they said that you shouldn't think of your books as like a to be read pile. You should think of book collecting as sort of like buying wine. Like think of your bookshelf like a wine cellar. You don't buy that book to read it instantly. Instead, you buy it and you wait for the right time or the right mood to read it. That really helps me when I'm buying books because it makes me not feel guilty. So, would I actually recommend this advice? Probably not, because I think it definitely enables all of us girlies that are addicted to buying books. So anyway, moving on, let's go through all the books on my physical TBR. Starting off, we've got Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I need to read this book. Like, this has been a 5-star book for so many people I know. And it was on my February TBR, but I just don't think I'm gonna get to it this month. So definitely I should read it in March or sometime soon, I'm not sure. Next up, we have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I have not really been in the dark academia sort of mood, just because it's summer where I am in New Zealand, so it just doesn't scream dark academia. But I'm definitely going to get to this book maybe like June, July when it's my winter, and I'm very excited about it. All I know is that the main character, she goes to Yale University and then she finds out all about these weird sort of secret societies within Yale University. This author actually attended Yale University, and I think she said that a lot of the things written in here aren't made up, like they're things that she's actually heard about or witnessed during her time in university, but she's obviously spun it into fiction, so I don't know, we'll see. But I'm so excited. And also Stephen King gave it a shout out. He said impossible to put down. I've never read a Stephen King book, but I trust him. So that's the second book. Third book. Now this is actually a book that I've attempted to read before, and I think I got 100 pages in it, and I just wasn't really in the mood for it, so I did DNF it. But I do want to give it another go. I think maybe I'll read it in the next couple of months because it's still hot and summery. I think I tried to read it in winter and it wasn't the vibe for me. But it is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I know so many people love this book and people love Emily Henry. And I don't know what it was for me. I just didn't feel like I clicked with the writing. But maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance. So, but yeah, that is the third book. Moving on. I cannot believe I haven't read this book yet. I feel like I need to read it. This was also on my February TBR, but I just don't think I'm gonna get to it. It is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. My mom read both this and Ruthless Vows, the second book in the series, and she loves it. And I know that everyone else loves it so much. Like, isn't the cover so beautiful? And I really feel like I'm gonna give this a 5 stars. I don't know why. I just get, as soon as I pick it up, I just get major 5-star vibes. So that is the 5th book. Next up is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. Now, I have read the first 3 books in the ACOTAR series and I love them. And the only reason I haven't really read this one is because it's a novella. And I think it's just like a sort of sweet Christmas story. I don't think it follows an actual plot, and I think that's why I'm just not in the mood to read it. But maybe I'll read it around Christmas time just because I love these characters. They're such comfort characters to me. I don't know, if you've read this, would you recommend it? Please let me know. Next up is a series that I'm very intimidated to start. That is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. My cover looks a bit different to most people's cover. So this is the cover that you get in New Zealand and Australia. I think now we have like the American cover, but I'm not sure. I personally love it. I think it's so gorgeous, but I don't know why. Like, it is thick, and it's also an urban fantasy. Like, I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses and Throne of Glass, but I think because this is set in like a modern day kind of world and there's technology, and I don't know, for some reason I don't think I'm gonna like it. But I feel like I have to read it because I know that Sarah J Maas is creating like a sort of multiverse. Is that the right word when it's like all her characters from her different worlds kind of come together? I think so. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I should read this. I definitely will this year. I just haven't been in the mood, and I've had it for like 2 years, so I don't know. Next on my TBR is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I'm obsessed with this book cover. I'm definitely gonna read this one soon. I think I'm just waiting for it to be winter time for me over in New Zealand, just because it seems like a very wintry book, like very dark and misty, and I don't know, like a very cozy winter read. I'm so excited to read this. I've heard such good things about it, and I feel like it's gonna be right up my alley. It's like a Gothic fantasy, which I'm so intrigued by. And also, did I say the cover is just gorgeous? So that is the next book. Next up is another fantasy romance. It is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is like a vampire Hunger Games-esque book, I believe. People say really, really good things about it. Fast-paced, really good, like enemies to lovers fantasy romance. So I'll definitely read that soon. Again, I think just because it's summer where I am, I haven't been in the mood for like a fantasy. I don't know. I'm really waiting for it to be like dark and gloomy and rainy. I know that's not a very popular opinion, but if you are someone that loves to read, I'm sure you agree with me. There is nothing better than like a cozy, rainy, gloomy day. Like, it's the perfect reading weather, and then you also don't feel bad for like not leaving your house and staying on the couch reading all day, because like what else are you gonna do? I love it. Okay, next up is Rouge by Mona Awad. I read Bunny by this author and I absolutely loved it. It felt like a fever dream. It is such an odd book, and I think you either really like it or you don't, but I absolutely loved it. I thought the writing was phenomenal and just super clever. And I'm not 100% sure what this is about. If I'm honest, the cover is really what sold me, and the fact that I obviously liked her other book. But I read a review on Instagram, like giving it a 5 stars, and I forgot which Instagram account it was, but I really trust their opinion, so I bought it straight away. But I think it talks about the dark side of like the beauty industry, or just beauty in general, but in a very like humorous, critical way of thinking. So yeah, I think I'm gonna really enjoy this book. And it's definitely a book that I think I'm gonna wanna like underline and sort of take my time reading. I really wanna engage with like the context of it. So I'm really excited for that one. I cannot wait. Okay, next up on my TBR, I'm actually currently reading this book, but I just put it in here because I haven't yet finished it. It is A Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Now, I haven't actually read the Mortal Instruments series. I'm jumping straight into the Infernal Devices series. And I think I can do that. I'm not confused at all. I've seen the first movie of the Mortal Instruments series, so I think I know the gist of Shadowhunters. I think I get it. And I just know that this is a series that like the OG booktubers love. So many people love it, so I know I'm gonna also love it. I'm only 103 pages in it, but I'm also really, really, really enjoying it. So that is something that I'll be reading this year, and I plan to read the whole series this year. Okay, next up, oh, I cannot wait for this book. It is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Just finished Six of Crows last week. I rated it 5 stars. I loved it. I didn't actually read the Shadow and Bone series, so mind you, I was definitely very confused in the first 100 pages. But once I kind of got past that first 100 pages, it was delicious. Loved it. I love the characters. I love the world. I don't know, it really clicked with me. So I'm definitely really, really excited to read Crooked Kingdom, and I think people say that this one is even better, so I am in for a treat. Okay, next up is The Women Destroyed by Simon de Beauvoir. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I really love this book cover. I think it's so beautiful. I bought this when I was in New York, and what is this about? I think this is non-fiction. I'm not sure. All I know is that it discusses the lives of 3 different women from different eras. Honestly, I've got no idea. What is this about? Oh, it says, oh no, not Simon. This is Simone de Beauvoir, my bad. It says Simone draws us into the lives of 3 women, all past their first youth and all facing unexpected crises. Oh, I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know what this is about. In the sort of blurbs, it's saying that it's witty And these three women are believable individuals presented with a wry mixture of sympathy and exasperation. And I think it's set in Paris after World War II. When I was in the bookshop, I was sort of like flicking through it and I saw so many good quotes that I really wanted to underline. So I ended up buying it, not only because the cover is really beautiful, but I think that I'm gonna really enjoy slowly reading this book. I don't think it's gonna be a book that I will like devour in a couple of days. I think I wanna take my time reading this because I think it's gonna be very beautiful writing. So I'm really, really excited about that one. See, all of my books, I feel like they sort of vary within genres and just different vibes, and that's why books are like a wine cellar. Like I'm not in the mood to read that right now, but I know that sometime this year I will be. And when the time strikes, she's here ready for me and I will read her. Okay, next up is Penenka by Romantasy. Now, if you follow Jack Edwards, which I'm sure you know who he is like I think he's the biggest booktuber at the minute. I'm pretty sure he is. And he's just so intelligent. I love the way he speaks about books. He actually has like an English degree, so he obviously knows what he's talking about. But this was actually his favorite book, I think of 2022. And all I know is that it's about this man in his 50s who was a very successful football player. Fiction, by the way, not real. And I think he ends up losing a game for his country. And then after that, the world and the country just sort of turns against him, which does happen a lot within sports. Like I've seen the David Beckham documentary, and you know, when he didn't score that goal, everyone turned against him and he just kind of had this like downfall in society. And I think that this is what this book is about. I'm not sure, but I know that Jack Edwards said it was like the most beautiful book. I think he cried reading it. And as soon as I hear someone cried reading a book, I have to buy it. Okay, next up is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I read The Secret History by Donna Tartt and absolutely loved it. I really, really love her writing. So I bought this one at a thrift shop. It was $9, secondhand $9. And I don't know too much about it, but I know that I'm gonna really enjoy it. I've just heard that like the storytelling in this book is phenomenal, and I really do love like a proper good story. Like when I really deeply care for the characters, and I think that's what's gonna happen in this book. So I'm excited, and I know the time will come when I'm in the mood for this, and I feel like it's gonna be quite soon, to be honest. So next up is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I'm so sorry, I've completely butchered that. I'm sure you've seen this book all over booktube or book talk. It got very, very popular. It says on the back, if you could go back, who would you want to meet? And in this small little back alley in Tokyo, there's a cafe which has been serving brewed coffee for more than 100 years. But this coffee shop offers its customers a unique experience, the chance to travel back in time. And I'm pretty sure it follows 5 people who go to this cafe and they go back in time. And I think you have, so like let's say you can go back in time and you can speak to someone who's not even here on this planet anymore, and you can talk with them until the coffee gets cold. So you essentially have like a 15-minute window to talk to this person or go back to a certain point in time and just kind of say what you want to say, get it off your chest, understand something, whatever it is. But yeah, you only have until the coffee gets cold, so not a very long time. Definitely a really, really cool concept. I did try to read this book. I got about 50 pages into it, but it still wasn't grabbing me. I don't think it was as emotional as I thought it was going to be, which is why I kind of ended up putting it away. But I definitely am going to come back to this book because it's so short. Like I have to give it a go. Okay, next up is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Gamis. This is such a popular book. It was rated so high on so many people's lists. I think there's even a TV show about it now, I'm pretty sure. To be honest, I actually don't know much about it. I just bought it because it's rated so high and most people I know have given it a 5 stars. So I just want to see what it's about, and then I also want to watch the TV show. So I will definitely get to it this year. Next up is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I'm sort of getting into my romance book era this year, so I think I will really enjoy it. I hope I do. I don't typically read romance books, and I also don't typically like books that have cartoon covers on the cover. I talked about this before on my channel. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if I want to go out in public and read this book. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like on the bus reading it. I don't know why. I don't want people to see that I'm reading this. I have no idea why I'm like embarrassed by it, but for some reason cartoon covers on the front, it doesn't do it for me. But I am really excited to read it. I know it's super popular on Book Talk, and I just want to see what all the hype is about. So that is definitely going to be read sometime this year. I am in my romance era at the minute, so I'll definitely read it quite soon, hopefully. Okay, next up is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. I don't know, I've heard such good things about this book. I have heard incredible things about this author. He's written Anxious People and Beartown, and I know that people just say his writing is unforgettable. Like, it is so, so, so good. And I know that Jack Edwards and also Steph Bower have read and loved this book. And I've seen them both underline quotes from it and upload it to Instagram. And the quotes just looked so good. Like, it sold me. I bought the book because the few lines I saw on their pages completely sold me. So that is definitely going to be read this year. Okay, next up is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Now, I have read this before about 12 years ago, but not this edition. So this is the 25th anniversary book edition. And I've decided that this year I'm going to reread the entire Harry Potter series, which I'm very, very excited to do. A little bit nervous, but no, I'm so excited. Definitely going to read it this year. I am going to wait for my winter. I was going to read it in February. It was on my February TBR, but I've decided that I'm going to wait until it gets just a little bit colder. I just feel like it'll be more of like a Harry Potter mood. Next up is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I've actually also tried to read this before. I think I got like a decent amount into it. I think I got like halfway through, and I don't know what it was, but this book just sent me into such a book slump. Like, I did not want to pick it up. I didn't want to pick up any book. Like, this book put me in a slump for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And so because of that, I'm very apprehensive to go back to it. But because I was halfway through and I was enjoying it, at least the first like 100 pages, but the halfway mark, it just lost me. Like, it completely lost my attention. I was not interested in it. I don't know. I just don't want to give up on it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I think I will get back to it. We'll see. We'll see. Right, next up is Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I don't know if it's geisha or geisha, but I have heard such incredible things about this. My sisters read this book and said it was phenomenal. And I just want to learn more about this world. We don't have a lot of geishas anymore. And if you don't know what they are, feel free to Google them. They're like those beautiful Japanese women from the olden time where they do the red lipstick in that particular way. And apparently it's just a very heartbreaking story about this woman's life. I think from my understanding, she told her life to this author, Arthur Golden, and he sort of just put it into more of a fiction story. I really don't know, if I'm honest. I feel like it'll be a very, very fascinating read. So I definitely want to get to that this year. Right, sorry, I feel like I've been babbling on for ages. We're getting there. Next up is Enigma Variations by Andre Aciman. This is the author of Call Me By Your Name. I love Call Me By Your Name. I also love the movie. I just feel like he writes very beautiful, slow novels. The kind of novels where, again, you want to take your time reading them. You want to underline the quotes. You really want to soak up the story and like what it's telling you. What this book is about is the main character and his three main greatest loves of his life, sort of all throughout his lifespan. So his first sort of passionate infatuation when he was a teenage boy, and then I think like the real love of his life maybe in his like adulthood, and then someone else he falls in love with. So he has three loves throughout his lifetime, and just sort of the difference between them and how he felt during them. And I don't know, I just feel like it's going to be a very beautiful novel, so I'm really, really excited to read that one. Okay, next up is Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. This is actually a movie with Scarlett Johansson and Colin Farrell, one of them. I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this. I read the first 10 pages of it while I was at a secondhand bookshop, which is where I got it from. It was only $5, and I was really, really enjoying it. I thought the writing was so good. And I definitely want to read it so I can watch the movie afterwards. So that will definitely be read sometime this year. Okay, Oh, my books just fell. Okay, 3 more to go. Next is The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart by Holly Ringgold. This is actually a book that I picked up when I bought one of those go on a blind date with a book sort of things. I don't know if I want to read it though. I don't know why. It's saying it's going to be like a TV series. No, I will read it. I definitely will. I don't know why. It's not really calling my name. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, next up is Getting Lost by Annie Ernaux. And this is actually a diary of a woman. It's been translated from French to English. And it's from the 1940s, I'm pretty sure. My friend actually bought me this book because she said the writing in it is so beautiful. She was like flicking through it in the bookshop and she thought that I would really enjoy like how beautiful and like poetic the writing is. And from my understanding, it says Getting Lost is the diary kept by Annie Ernaux during the 1.5 years she had a secret love affair with a younger married man who was a part of the Soviet embassy in Paris. I lie, it's not from the 1940s, it's from the 1980s. And yeah, it's just diary entries from this woman and this just about her life and about desire and passion and womanhood and feeling lonely and just kind of things like that. I've heard really good things about it, and it's a winner of a Nobel Prize in literature, so we'll see. I feel like the book cover is very gorgeous as well and just different to what I normally read, so you know, it's good to have different genres, change it up. That way reading is always fun and interesting and you're never bored. I think when you read too much of the same genre, you eventually get bored and burnt out, at least I do. So I love to sort of flip between genres and different kind of ideas and novels and things like that. And then the last book I have is Sweetness in the Belly by Camilla Gibb. This is actually not my book. This is my friend's book, but she gave it to me because she thinks I'll really enjoy it. It's saying this is a stunning novel of a British Muslim woman's quest for love and belonging in 2 very different worlds. Aww. Sweetness in the Belly is an intoxicating novel about memory and exile, and it's a story that pierces the heart. Yeah, I don't know, it has a lot of really good praise for it, and my friend said that she thinks I would really love it, and I really trust her. So that is the final book on my 2024 physical TBR. Let me just show you how it looks right now. There's a lot of books. There's a lot going on. Hihi. Yikes. Okay, I'm gonna go put those back on my bookshelf because it looks a bit crazy. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's any books on my 2024 TBR that I need to read, like immediately. And yeah, I'm gonna go pack my bags because I'm actually off to Sydney tomorrow to see Taylor Swift. I'm so excited. Okay. I'm going to the Eras tour. I'm so ecstatic for it. But all right, anyway, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.